This was something my Aikido teacher used to say, and it really resonated with me and it helped a lot. It was that if you are not alone in the training hall, in the dojo, you are already a baron. It is already luxury if you are not alone.
You are about to listen to part of a series where every month a leader from our community shares with us a little about themselves, how they came to find out about the ACL Global Project, as well as what drives them to do the work that they do, and perhaps even a bit about their hopes and dreams. This is the ACL Member Spotlight series, and in today's episode, we are featuring Eugene Sakata.
So I'm Eugene. I'm based in Cluj Napoca in Romania. I'm 31, and I can say pretty sure that I'm a psychotherapist. The other side of my profession is that I'm a researcher, but it's always a bit like iffy. I'm a PhD candidate at the moment at the local university here in Cluj. So I'm also engaged in research, but I'm a bit hesitant to call myself a researcher. I'm clearly a psychotherapist. I'm licensed and everything and own a practice, but yeah. I got to ACL through FAP, through Functional Analytic Psychotherapy. And I remember the first time I encountered FAP, I was watching the ACBS, Association for Behavioral Contextual Science WorldCon, the World Conference during COVID, and how things work during COVID, that you would be washing some dishes and also listening to a conference in the background. And this amazing psychotherapist comes on. It's, he's so good, so brilliant that I go and get my partner and say, "Stop whatever you're doing, and we need to watch this and pay full attention." And on the screen is Matthew Skinta, and he's doing FAP. And this is an amazing person and an amazing model, and we're both instantly in love with FAP, and we want to look into it, we want to learn more about it, and that's how we get to Mavis, who is the founder of FAP and also the ACL project. And it so quickly became my favorite time of the month, right? Whenever ACL happened, I was so eager to get into it. So that's when I thought, yeah, I'd like to be part of this community and I'd like to contribute the best I can. The way it went is that I thought this model is so great and I would love to bring it to my fellow students in the university. And we need that a lot. So one way of doing it was to be trained as a chapter leader and to have a chapter in the university. It's one of the best parts of what I'm doing, the most rewarding. I think we usually have around 60 people, 60 students joining. Initially, we had to be very careful with the room. We got a classroom for 60 people, and more people signed up, and we needed to have a wait list and to tell people to come or not to come and to tell us if they won't come so that we can get any other people in. And since then we got bigger rooms and we tried different rooms in the university. That's a bit of a struggle of trying to find a place in a more traditional educational setting that also fits the more unconventional way in which ACL operates, of not having just rows of people sitting in front of each other. And I think also the way in which we formulate it, which is really close to the standard way in which ACL invitations are being formulated, right? I think that's a lot in the university context. I think just hearing things about meaning, connection, trusting your own wisdom, not being afraid of making mistakes, stuff like that, that's usually in the ACL vocabulary. It's really appealing to students. So I don't think, at least in our population, that there was a need for massive advertising. While we'd love to have a broader outreach in the university, it's mostly students that we taught. So either in psychology or sociology, or I teach, for example, educational psychology and mathematics. So in the faculty of mathematics, so a couple of them are from there. And my co-leader teaches in literature studies, so some of them are from there. It's usually people we had contact with and that we had the channels to advertise. And we'd love to slowly be able to reach more sections of the university. It's also something that I would like to research, given that it seems to be working. My observations seem to point that direction, but just seeing them flourish, seeing students that maybe before were a bit lonely or not sure where they fit in, seeing them form groups, seeing them having a bit of tears rolling down their cheeks, and just the sense of connection, and everyone at the end going out and feeling part of something. I imagine this also spills out into their lives, and I would love to see what the impact is, especially on first year students. So I think that this was something my Aikido teacher used to say, and it really resonated with me and it helped a lot. It was treat the few as many and the many as few. And actually, the funny way in which he used to say it was if you are not alone in the training hall, in the dojo, you are already a baron. It is already luxury if you are not alone. So starting with a small group, that really, I think that can really help. Having 3 people, 4 people in an ACL and just putting this out, I think it's gold, and I don't think gold needs a lot of advertisement. It just needs to be seen and not be obscured. And the best way of promoting is for sure word of mouth and getting yourself out there. It's quite interesting because you were saying that the community platform has low engagement, and this is something that I am learning, and I'm eager to learn more from the ACL project, because I think compared to other platforms, again on Mighty Networks or different type of platforms, I think ACL is quite alive and doing well. So I've been part of a couple such platforms in the last years. I think it was the whole Hilo project for prosocial. It was a bit like Mighty Network, and it was an organization a bit similar to ACL, looking at how you can bring behavioral science to groups and organizations. Right, and also the Mind Foundation, which is the European Foundation for Psychedelic Research in Berlin. And there I also administrate part of the Mighty Network, and the engagement is a lot less. What I'm seeing and what I'm really appreciating in the ACL Mighty Network is that there are a lot of posts from people representing the organization. There's engagement, more likes, more RSVPs, more posts from members of the community, a lot more questions and things to interact with, a lot more events being offered. I'm really passionate about science and about ways of knowing and ways of being sure or rooting out error. And also, I'm quite passionate about psychedelic science, using psychedelic substances for clinical and non-clinical improvements. I've been thinking about integrating altered states of consciousness, whether they are or not pharmacologically induced. I think that could be of interest to members. It's great when you have this, I would say, sacred, right, almost religious feeling of, oh, this is amazing, and I want to belong, and I want to offer this, and I want to contribute. But at the same time, having data showing, yeah, this is actually useful, that brings a lot of visibility, and it makes it a lot easier to implement in official settings. It's one of the least controversial elements that I'm trying to popularize in the university, but still talking about love, there's a bit of reticence to that. I think in my department, it's a bit shunned because of its association with alternative methods of healing, right? That it's a buzzword in a lot of non-academic traditions. Love heals everything. All you need is love. And I think, at least in Romania, where I'm based, psychotherapy professors and psychology professors want to be really precise and really evidence based. So talking about love feels a bit sometimes wishy washy. And it's really nice when you know what the concept is all about and that it's behaviorally defined and it has really good empirical background, but just trying to put it out there is a bit of a struggle in itself. I think it would be really useful if the ACL project had maybe a research division, or at least a part of the people. I know a lot of the leaders are actually researchers. So just coming together and thinking some multi-center projects that would enable leaders who are not researchers to join in, collect data, and having papers on this, having something you can cite and say, look, this is what it's all about, and this is how we define love. There's always this fear of a media scandal, and if they hear that students are coming together and learning about love, it could be a bit strange in popular opinion. But if you can say, look, these are the papers, this is the protocol, this is how it's backed, it's a lot easier to get through. So I just love the work that's being done and appreciate so much everyone that's contributing to it. And I think if I'm allowed to dream, I would dream at least one chapter in every country or in every city, and that people get to experience this amazing, amazing protocol and time that's called the ACL group. I know that there's a huge need for it, and at the same time, my perspective is that such a thing can only grow organically by touching one person at a time, and they are spreading the word, and then a person comes who has also the time and the resources and the interest to be a chapter leader, and then it spreads and people move around. So I think it's something that takes time. I'm already super impressed with how widespread ACL is, and I think there's a lot of people who know Mavis for a while, and she had this huge influence in their lives for sure, and they're contributing. And I think 60 students every meeting, a lot of them want to be leaders, a lot of them want to co-facilitate ACL groups, and I think a lot of them will return to their cities in Romania.
That was Eugene Sakata, and this is the ACL Member Spotlight series, where every month we feature another one of our outstanding leaders of the Awareness, Courage, and Love Global Project. We hope you enjoyed this talk, and we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doing so will not only keep you informed of when we feature our next Member Spotlight, but also help us towards our goal of becoming monetized so that we can continue developing and bring you this type of programming.